That was incredible, wasn't it?
Next up is Niharika TSS, a professional dancing performing to the festive song Morni 1K from the heartwarming movie Badai Ho.
Thank you, Niharika. That was a wonderful performance.
Next on stage is Aditi with yet another foot tapping Bollywood routine.
Oh God, one more remix.
अनक तेरे सू क्या बात है नी तेरा काजल करदा पागल हिप्नोटाइज करे जदू क्या बात है तेरे लक तो तू लगदा कराची दी फैन मार जानी बुगाटी दी दिल करे तेरे नाल बने अरवा तेरे जिस्म च खुशबू राची तेरी अख ते टिका नक ते तो माशाअल्लाह क्या बात है कंगना कंगना
इलाने क्यों ना जाए तुम्हारी रसिया मुझे है तुम्हें सारी दुनिया कहाँ है बदरी की दुल्हनिया
छोटी पे तेरी मलू गुलाल रंग बता बुलू या लाल एयर में तेरे उड़ते बाल आजा रंग दूध दोनों गाल अरे सारा रा रा कबीरा सारा रा रा
देखे देखे झुमके लगाते चार ठुमके छिछोरे नाचे जमके यूपी में दिन दहाड़े विंडो और छत पे तारे हम देखे आंखें फाड़े अरे यार तुझ पे टिकी है मेरी नोटी नजरिया तुझको बना करके तुझको बना करके तुझको बना करके ले जाएंगे बदरी की दुल्हनिया तुझको बना करके ले जाएंगे बदरी की दुल्हनिया रानी बना करके ले जाएंगे बदरी की दुल्हनिया
इंटरनेट झूठी कमल इंटरपेन कटोड़ पोए इंटरनेट जानी कपी इंटरमा कुछ तुझे इंटरनेट झूठी कमल इंटरपेन कटोड़ पोए इंटरपेन जानी कपी इंटरमा कुछ तुझे
ഇവരുടെ ചാകരയും വേലകളി പത്തു വന്നപ്പോൾ ചിലരുടെ തോർത്തുകീറി പോയ കാര്യം ഓർത്തുപോകവേ അലകൾ കാറ്റിനൊലി കാതുകുത്താൻ പാടുവിടേണ്ട സഹചര സേനാപതി വീര പടുകാമരോരുവ എന്റെ മേലെ ചിലകി കമൽ എന്റെ പങ്കട്ടോട് പോയി എന്റെ പല്ല താണ്ടി കുട്ടി എന്റെ മാ കുളിച്ചു കിട്ടി എന്റെ മേലെ ചിലകി കമൽ എന്റെ പങ്കട്ടോട് പോയി എന്റെ പല്ല താണ്ടി കുട്ടി എന്റെ മാ കുളിച്ചു കിട്ടി
I literally have no words to describe this performance. My broadcast area must be broken.
Pain, both physical and mental, is not just about bones and bleeding wounds. It's about conquering strength in the middle of the night. It's about struggling and still carrying on. So let's all take out a few minutes as we acknowledge these unheard warriors of pain with the poetry by Niharika Arora.
Emancipating pain. Years ago, my zeal for life had vanished. My craziness for living had turned into oblivion. Day and night, I sat regretting and fretting for what I didn't try to shun. I used to lodge in bed, pondering the unmerciful Lord, cursing my fate, dumping my laughter somewhere in my own heaven, imagining why time is so obfuscate. Pain had made me lose my strenuous soul, my grace, which certainly could not be fumbled upon, my companions, whom I used to trust and count on, my shattered dreams, which were then just dawn. However, those days which had inculcated this guilt, those years which had fed these emotions, belonged to my departed past, and soon I realized I had to get over it fast. One fine day, under the same sun, but a contemporary ray of light, a thought dawned upon my gloomy mind to defeat my foible, my anguish, and unchain my cry. in the cage confined. This journey of ceasing pain that gnaws my body, this voyage of fighting with pain, the uninvited spirit of my soul is pervaded with pins and needles, but none can now obstruct me performing my role. So I am destroying my sack of aches. I am gathering my scattered credence on Almighty, on humanity, and demolishing each of my hindrance. I'm aware this road is the one less traveled. It will have potholes of frustration, ditches of depression, and vehicles of suppression. But I need to shine in the darkness, as my courage is my own incarnation. My pluck is my own accumulation. And one day, I want to honestly say, I made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Niharika. That did give us all a fresh perspective.
Here to transport us all into the wonderful world of Western music is Jagati. Thank you, Jagati. That was so mesmerizing.
Let's talk about something we're all guilty of, taking things for granted. As humans, our ability to take things for granted is infinite, very much like the conception of time itself. So I ask you guys to spare a few minutes of your precious infinite time to listen to Tanisha's interpretation of the same through her amazing poetry.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for being short, I guess. So the poem that I'm reciting today is a letter of sorts that I wrote to myself so that I could read it every time that I caught myself being ungrateful for the things that I have in my life, or every time that I caught myself taking something for granted. Because in the past year, I've learned that things can really change when you replace the words, "Why is this happening to me?" with the words, "What is this trying to tell me?" Also, a quick poll, how many of you have ever attended a slam poetry session or watched a video? Okay, cool. Okay, and how many of you don't ever take things for granted and are 100% grateful for everything you have in life? Okay, well, this is for everybody else. I hope you enjoy. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of the stranger on the tram ride home last week that smiled back at you. How deep her laughter lines seemed to furrow into the gentle basin of her eyes, as if to say, "Stay strong, stay hopeful, I see you, I am here too." The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of every day this month that you woke up to a warm bed. How sunlight simmered through, painting your side tables submarine yellow, as if to welcome you back to the world of the conscious, as if to say, "You are welcome here, you are needed, I hope you enjoy your stay." The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of all the days this month that you woke up to a warm bed, your ribs still tethered together, or all the days you woke up at all. Not many seem to make that cut lately. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of how you made it back home last noon, right before it rained and rained and rained, how you were right in time to sit in your courtyard, carpeted violet by the fallen bloom of the jacaranda tree, how the world decided to leave you unbothered as you flipped through the pages of your second-hand, mint-condition Dostoevsky. I want you to think of the small moments, the very strangeness of being alive, how right now, every organ in your body is coming together to keep you from coming apart. Think of how minuscule your grievances look 50 trillion miles into cosmic space. How easy it would be for an astronaut to confuse the maladies of your mind for just another passing meteorite. I want you to think of how from outer space, our mistakes don't matter. From outer space, you and I are background white noise, faded lilac, rosemary aroma, the forgotten fragrance of old memories. You and I are nameless molecules floating through space. You and I are 2% calcium, but 98% social conditioning. How, if the entire timeline of the universe was shortened into a 10-minute song video, the 200,000 years that you and I have been around as a human race, as a human condition, would take up the very last second? And how devastating, yet how liberating is the idea that in this time frame, you and I will never matter. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of the way your mother sleeps, worming her way into her quilted blanket, fetal, embryonic, how the angular edges of her face have melted through the years to make her look kinder, sadder, stronger, how in her sleep, each breath is a sign that she is still alive. Each breath is something to be grateful for. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of all the strangers that have turned into friends, and all the friends that have turned into strangers, and all the strangers that have remained strangers yet somehow made you feel welcome enough to stay. A slight nod as you pass them on the alleyway. A shy smile trickling and trembling down their chins. On the bus, a shared fleeting conversation about the rising price of potatoes or the shortcomings of our current government. I think they have a word for it. I think they call it Xeno, some sort of bone-warming unit of human engagement. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of all the people that have decided to love you without being asked to, and all the gifts the universe has surreptitiously sent your way. Think of leap years and your morning coffee and the mulberries that glisten in your family's tea estate. Think of raspberry-scented, mango-tinted, Kool-Aid summer days. Think of all the days all you heard was nothing but bad news. Days that left you drained, like a colander, left you colorless and miserable. Think of how now, in hindsight, it no longer hurts. You no longer have any need for an emotional band-aid, because in the gray spaces between then and now, you found yourself. You found yourself. The next time you feel unlucky, I want you to think of the day the radio played your favorite song, the one no one had ever heard of, and how on blisteringly cold days, you will always have warm water seeping through your shower head. Think of how I plan to peel back this coat of sadness that you wear, like the cratered skin of an orange. The next time you feel unlucky, Think of how I plan to remind you. Oh, how I plan to remind you of all the good that is yet to come your way. All the good that has already come your way. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanisha. That were great words. Now we have Spandana with a song.